Environmental warfare, a scratch-built universe of nature, chaos, and creative evolution. In the ever-growing digital garden of Scratch-developed games, few creations stand as tall or grow as wildly as environmental warfare. What started as a humble indie project inspired by Plants vs. Zombies has grown into an expansive, interconnected saga of spin-offs, strategic depth, and storytelling. Crafted entirely on a simple block coding platform, Scratch, Environmental Warfare or EU has gone from idea to institution, thanks to the creativity and dedication of its developer, Plantyplays. With over a dozen published games, evolving mechanics, lore-rich timelines, and a community of players rooting for its rise, Environmental Warfare is more than a tower defense series. It is a living ecosystem of narrative, design, and imagination. Origins of a war, from peace to resistance. Before the first flame, there was only stillness. The Lush Lands, the very first spin-off and chronological beginning of the EU universe, explores life before the war. This prequel game presents the plants not as warriors, but as dreamers, peaceful beings tending to their homeland, unaware of the fire on the horizon. This quiet, almost sacred tone makes the later chaos even more impactful. Then came the flames. Suddenly and without mercy, the elemental fire forces invaded. They torched the soil, devoured roots, and claimed plant territory as their own. They didn't ask, they just burned. It was not a conflict over misunderstanding, it was war over land. And in that moment, the flora were forced to evolve. From tranquil beings to defenders of life, the plants rose to fight back. This lore becomes the beating heart of every environmental warfare game, not conquest, but reclamation. Not victory, but survival. Each wave in every game echoes that first breach, fire against life. Mainline trilogy, the core of the conflict. At the center of the EU universe lies a trilogy of published titles that form the backbone of the franchise's timeline. Environmental Warfare 1. The original EU sets the stage with raw charm and foundational gameplay. Built in Scratch, it combines fast-paced wave mechanics with basic unit deployment, telling the story of the plant's first resistance. Though simple, its rough style established the franchise's iconic aesthetic, a mix of scrappy visuals, strategic tension, and environmental themes. Environmental Warfare 2. With the war escalating, EU2 expands the roster, adds new flame types, and introduces additional plants. The conflict becomes more complex as new strategies emerge. Units like poisonous flower moss and grass block debut here, offering fresh mechanics like spawn-based support or damage over time slugs. The plants and flames are evolving in tandem, each update upping the elemental arms race. Environmental Warfare 3. Originally just concept art, EU3 grew into a fully published, standout title in the series. It brought unused ideas from earlier builds to life, turning once sketched units and enemy designs into active gameplay elements. It represents Plantyplays' growth as a developer and marks a major shift. EU3 is polished, expansive, and canonically climactic. Together, this trilogy forms the core struggle, the growing desperation of the flames and the rising ingenuity of the plants. The enemies, flames with faces and fury. What makes EU's flames unique is how they're more than just hazards, they are characters. Every flame has a personality, a playstyle, and often a backstory that ties them to the world's progression. Core Flame Roster. Flame Type Behavior Personality. Flame Standard Enemy Reckless and Direct. Blue Midget Flame Quick, Swarming Unit Sly and Chaotic. Golden Flame Rare and Powerful Regal, burns with arrogance. Shooty Flame Ranged Projectile Attacker Tactical and Smug. Bitey Flame charges with bite attacks ferocious and wild. Armored Flame heavily resistant stoic, tank-like menace. The flames also evolve through spin-offs and updates. Some start inside games like an Apple adventure and eventually graduate into the mainline saga, like Blue Midget Flame. Others emerge from scrapped ideas and rise again in EU 3D shooter. The flames aren't just obstacles, they recurring villains with lore. The Defenders, a garden of heroes. Just as every flame has a function and flavor, each plant feels like a character. Their mechanics reflect their personalities, and their reappearances over time help tell a deeper story of loyalty, growth, and strategy. Plant lineup highlights. Plant role vibe. Tree balanced leader unit-wise and symbolic protector. Weed spawn simple allies resilient underdog. Peapot self-healing support gentle and nurturing. Bush fast, punchy attacker fiery and chaotic. Poisonous flower moss slug summoner mysterious and clever. God Sprout legendary defender in TD games divine and radiant. Water leaf TBD likely ranged support calm, focused, strategic. These plants span genres. Some begin in the original series, others debut in tower defense spin-offs or platformers and later crossover. They represent not just tools but legacy. Each one contributes to the soul of the franchise. Genre-shifting branches, EU beyond the core. Environmental warfare thrives because it isn't afraid to grow sideways. From arena fighters to base builders, it reinvents itself constantly while remaining true to its elemental war themes. An Apple adventure. A 50-stage pixelated platformer featuring Happy Apple as the player character. It's a playable tribute to classics, filled with platforming tension, boss battles, and pixel-perfect joy. This spin-off reimagines the flames as action game threats, including Smog Cloud and Phase Beetle. Tower Defense Series. Where the game gets strategic. Featuring units like God Sprout and enemies like Armored Flame, the EU Tower Defense entries focus on positioning, resource balance, and wave prediction. They're slower, smarter, and full of new flame types that can't be beaten through brute force. The Growing Garden. Set after the flames breach plant territory, the Growing Garden is about restoration. It's not just passive farming, it's defiant healing. Regrow what was lost. Defend while you rebuild. It transforms the war into an emotional act of resistance. The Lush Lands. The first spin-off ever created and the origin point for the saga. This pre-war peaceful game focuses on exploration, discovery, and the beginnings of the plants we now know. It's quiet, nostalgic, and rich with foreshadowing. These genre shifts prove EU isn't just a series, it's a framework. One that can support any kind of gameplay, as long as the heart growth vs destruction remains. Reusability and crossovers, the EU universe grows together. One of the most recognizable features of the environmental warfare universe is its character reusability. It's not lazy recycling, it's legacy building. Characters reappear across games, genres, and updates with new powers, purposes, and evolutions. Some examples. Shooty Flame, started unused, then became a boss-level menace. Tree and Peapot, foundational defenders turned timeless icons. Blue Midget Flame, debuted in a spin-off, returned as a key threat. Grass Block, support character whose value grows with every game. God Sprout, tower defense born, mythic even inside lore. These reappearances make the world feel cohesive. They reward veteran players who recognize old allies or enemies. They turn units into beloved staples. Built on Scratch, simplicity fuels ingenuity. Perhaps the most remarkable part of EU's creation is that it's all built in Scratch. Scratch is a block coding platform meant for learning and experimentation, but EU pushes it beyond its limits. From complex wave logic to branching cutscenes, full-featured upgrade menus, spin-off transitions, and even three-dimensional gameplay. Every piece of EU was engineered by Plantyplays from the ground up using Scratch blocks. It's a testament to creativity over tools. Scratch may be simple, but what's been built with it? Anything but. A growing legacy. There's more to come. More plans. More flames. More spin-offs. More stories. And every new game folds in history from the last building on the soil left behind. EU isn't finished. It's a living, breathing franchise that blooms with each update. Future ideas include cross-dimensional collisions between games and timelines, AI-powered enemies that adapt based on your past builds, frost flame variants,